come on, check us out. Weber Internet Thingy, Weber Internet Thingy, Weber Internet Thingy. The good times are never in doubt. Weber Internet Thingy. Come on and join the fun. Weber Internet Thingy. We've got the blues on the run. Get away from that big mean world and come have lots of dumb fun. Get away from that big mean world and come have lots of dumb fun. Weber Internet Thingy, Weber Internet Thingy, Weber Internet Thingy. Come on, check us out. Weber Internet Thingy, Weber Internet Thingy, Weber Internet Thingy. The good times are never in doubt. Weber Internet Thingy. Come on and join the fun. Weber Internet Thingy. We've got the blues on the run. Get away from that big mean world and come have lots of dumb fun.
Strange old trekkers with that Star Trek jive. Strange old trekkers, let's talk about it live. Strange old trekkers, Eric, Joe, and John. Strange old trekkers, settle in 'cause it's on.
My friends, for Strange Old Trekkers, it's hey, it's your old pal Capt'n John. I did type it in, right? Okay. In front of everybody. That's embarrassing. Oh, something brand new. I hope everybody enjoys this. Joe and Eric have not even seen this yet, so let's get it.
Strange old trekkers with that Star Trek jive. Strange old trekkers, let's talk about it live. Strange old trekkers, Eric, Joe, and John. Strange old trekkers, settle in 'cause it's on. Oh, they're the strange old trekkers, come dig what they're doing. Strange new worlds they're recapping and reviewing. Brand new trek just beaming into your home. But with the strange old trekkers, you're not watching it alone. Join the strange old trekkers when it's time to discuss. You got opinions, you can bring them to us. If you really like it or are mad enough to cuss, tell the strange old trekkers.
Mike John.
Strange old trekkers, tell us what you think. Strange old trekkers, is it great?
God damn it.
There we go. Excellent. There's something about this that appeals, but I can't quite put my finger on it. I'd very much like to.
I basically have tried to get AI to make a graphic of nose cone art on a spaceship, and it never succeeded in doing that.
Yeah. Oh, there's spaceships in this?
These are all the outtakes. I was like, spaceship, starship, Star Trek style starship, intergalactic starship, and they're like, okay, here is plane. How about that one? That is disgusting. So
Some guy like airstick on that one, it looks like.
oh, it's crazy. Anyway, I do love the music though, I have to say. Always makes me happy when Eric grooves out to the music.
How can one not?
All right.
All our pinups from down here. God damn it.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. Okay. here we are, the Strange Old Trekkers show in which we recap and review what happened in this very latest episode of Strange New Worlds on Paramount Plus. And getting together with us are Joe Townsell, the novelist of great science fiction and horror, and of course, CPO Eric Kramer, the grumpiest man to ever serve in the Federation.
Shut the fuck up.
And you'll notice that we don't bleep. So if your kids are nearby, you might want to turn the volume down just a little bit, because I can't guarantee you're not going to hear
We all
it.
gotta grow up sometime. That's all I gotta say.
Good point.
So, gentlemen, this episode is ridiculous in that I can normally go to memoryalpha.com and I can at least find out who directed and who wrote this one. I can't. They're not letting us do that because nobody put that information in, which Star Trek nerds, come on. Why are you taking it easy?
Yeah.
So here, I can offer this. This is from the Paramount Plus website. This episode, of course, is the Sehlat. Am I saying that right? Sehlat?
Yes.
Who ate its tail. It is the 6th episode of 10 here in season 3. I love that I looked at the description for this episode and I immediately made up my mind how it was going to go. And I also love that I was wrong. So here's what they said. They say, Kirk's first day as captain turns disastrous when a scavenger ship seizes the Enterprise. That's not true. that is a very inaccurate description. So, hey, Paramount.
Incomplete. It's incomplete.
Paramount batting 100%, as in missing every time.
Well, I have some, one of two news scoops for you this week, gentlemen. The first of it, which is this.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus is aware of our show, and I'll tell you how I found this out. They said, you know what? We know that Townsell is trying to create beats and slides that are relevant to the episode. So we're going to give them the most misleading titles ever. Nothing to do with the story. What was with this title?
Well, I mean, I liked it once.
Really? The title's what's bugging you about this episode?
It's up there. It's
Title?
up there.
Okay.
Okay, I like that Chris has said this because this is a big deal for writers. Log lines is an entire class in writers' school. Log lines are hard to write. That is true. But if you don't know anything about it, don't write the log line, is my advice. But I guess they had to write something. And I'm glad that they were wrong because what they described sounded like
Don't
oopsie.
you think
And I
that's
did not.
kind of like don't you think that's like an internet trick right now? Like write something that has absolutely nothing to do with the show.
Mm.
Kirk's first day becomes disastrous as the Enterprise is captured. Like that. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I
Like
do.
that's exactly. It's like every misleading caption on every YouTube video.
Oh,
Blah blah blah.
yeah.
You know, click here.
I don't know if they used AI to write that. I don't know. Maybe they did. But I will say this. I'm taking a writing
I
class
think
right
AI
now.
would have gotten it right.
I'm taking a class right now, and my teacher is like, you know what? You know what AI is good for? Writing log lines. Because no one wants to do it. Everyone's bad at it. You might as well get AI to do it. I feel like maybe the AI from Star Trek Discovery is the guy writing the log lines. What was his name again, Joe? That AI.
Oh, Control. That's
Control. Oh my gosh, your memory is amazing.
Well, the fact that they stole from Maxwell Smart, it, helps me remember.
Missed it by that much.
Missed it by that much.
And that's a reference that these three guys and Chris get, and that's pretty much it.
More than enough.
So we should probably get right into it. Can't do Genesis, so here we go. Let's get into Every week, Joe Townsville puts together the beats of the episode so we can recap it. And that's the first step to recap and review. So it's time for the beats.
You know what?
The Enterprise and the Farragut get their butts handed to them.
What's that, Eric?
That intro I always thought was a guitar. I think it's a kazoo.
It might be. I don't know. Again, AI. Ask Control. He knows. All right, here we go. What did we do? Okay. Anyway.
The Enterprise and the Farragut get their butts handed to them by a big, scary scavenger ship with a ravenous appetite, with tentacles and teeth. Break out the analog phones and Atari 2600 game consoles to defeat the big, bad aliens? The strange old trekkers try to make sense of the odd title of this episode, The Sehlat, Who Ate Its Tail. Lieutenant Commander Kirk is feeling pretty cocky as he struts around the bridge of the Enterprise. Or, wait, is that the Farragut? Well, it's hard to tell since they simply reuse the Enterprise sets without bothering to redress them. Actually, it is the Farragut. Try to keep up between ship setting changes, okay? Kirk doesn't jive with Captain Varel's cautious command style. Forget scanning this strange new world from orbit. Let's put boots on the ground. Just as Kirk is about to give his "risk is our business" speech, some huge unknown force kicks the crap out of the Farragut. Worse, the planet they are surveying is blown to smithereens. What the hell just did that? The Doomsday Machine? No, we won't encounter that until the events of the original series. Once again, there's cables, wires, and support beams hanging from the ceiling on the Enterprise. Oh, wait. This is the Farragut, damn it. Most of the crew is down, including the captain. But hallelujah, the Enterprise arrives to save the day. Spock, Chapel, Uhura, Scotty, and La'an beam over to the Farragut to assist. There is a precious moment as La'an hops on the turbolift with her crush, Kirk, and her new man, Spock. Oh boy, another love triangle. Or maybe a menage a trois? Ooh la la! But the awkward moment soon passes, as La'an will be transporting back to the Enterprise in just a few minutes. The Farragut is extremely crippled, and it's time to evacuate the ship's survivors to the Enterprise. No sooner than this happening, the big bad scavenger ship swallows the Enterprise and wraps its tentacles around it. A big siphoning hose is jutted into the engineering hull, which promptly begins sucking out the ship's power. The Enterprise bridge crew confers. La'an is visibly shaken as she mentions the Destroyer of Worlds, an entity that even scares the Gorn shitless. More alarming, this behemoth vessel managed to swallow a Klingon ship whole. The other bridge officers have indeed heard of this malevolent presence, each having their culture's own name for the beast in space. Pike and La'an don their special environmental suits and make their way to engineering, but they never make it. En route, they encounter Pelia and her staff, who warns them that engineering is full of toxic gas, courtesy of the scavenger siphoning hose. Well, I guess it's back to the good old science lab, again. On the bridge, Ortega's attempts to hotwire the Enterprise aren't going very well. But Pelia has a plan. She's going to break out some old, now I mean really old, from 1980s Earth old, technology. She has a whole bunch of this junk. Hey, this is Mbenga's word, not mine. Conveniently stored in her quarters. Hey, when you live to be 5,000 years old, you tend to acquire some clutter. Included among her keepsakes are a bunch of corded, wired princess phones. Intra-ship communications problem solved. On the Farragut, some hard decisions have to be made by acting Captain Kirk, and his ideas aren't exactly flowing freely. Uhura can't establish communications. After all, there aren't any old phones on the Farragut. Worse, the scavenger ship is making a beeline to a nearby planet with a population of 100 million. Still worse, the planet's civilization is pre-warp, so warning them of the big Planet Eater vessel would violate the Prime Directive. Kirk interrupts Scotty, whose butt is hanging out of a Jeffries tube. "Engineer in training. I need warp speed, now." "The Farragut will fly apart, Captain." "We'll fly her apart then." Scotty scowls as the Farragut accelerates to warp 7. Back on the bridge, Kirk is feeling pretty pleased with himself as he finally takes the captain's chair, crossing his legs in that old-school William Shatner style. But Kirk has little time to feel cocky as the Farragut warp drive takes a dump and the ship comes to an abrupt halt. Now the scavenger ship is only a few hours away. "What the hell are we going to do now, Captain?" "Hey, back off, future Enterprise crew. I need a few minutes to go off and sulk." Kirk leaves the bridge and resumes a one-sided three-dimensional chess game he was playing with his captain. Spock enters and reminds Kirk that the bridge crew await his orders. Well, Kirk finally sucks it up and returns with Spock to the bridge. On the Enterprise, Pike, La'an, and a Redshirt encounter two of the scavenger crew, lumbering around in two hulking spacesuits. Phaser shots are exchanged. "Redshirt down!" They drag her to safety, but it's no use. The Redshirt expires. Pike and La'an take refuge in the galley. The scavengers are beating down the door, but the joke's on them. La'an sets a bottle of booze on fire, scorching the scavengers. Time to make their way to the power siphoning tether and disable it, if they can. Pelia and Una are setting up their makeshift communication system using her collection of vintage phones. Ortegas freaks out a little when she hears a dial tone. Hey, it works! Now she can guide M'Benga and Una to operate the remote controls to get the heck out of the scavenger ship's maw. On the Farragut, Kirk and crew have a plan to disguise the power source in the ship's nacelles as something the scavengers will find tasty. On the Enterprise, Pike and La'an concoct their own scheme to sour the milk that is the Enterprise's power source. Good plan! Geordi will make full use of it 100 years later in Galaxy's Child. And it works! The scavengers retract the tether, and the Enterprise hauls ass out of the mouth of the scavenger ship. The Farragut is now free to put their plan into action. The scavengers have found the tasty stuff in the Farragut's nacelles very scrumptious. Kirk orders the nacelles jettisoned, which explode deep within the scavenger vessel. The big blast completely destroys the scavengers, all 7,000 of them. Pike and La'an locate the two remaining scavengers in the Enterprise corridor. One is vaporized immediately, the phaser shields having been deactivated. Pike is choking on the stale air in his environmental getup. Fortunately, oxygen levels are returning to normal, and La'an helps her captain take off his helmet. Pike approaches the other dead scavenger and takes off his mask. Their suits are massive, so they must be these really big, ugly alien brutes, right? But what the hell? The guy inside is human. The Enterprise is towing what's left of the Farragut to the nearest starbase for repairs. Captain Varel will be just fine and dandy, and will probably ask her first officer later, "So, Commander Kirk, what were you saying about risk being our business?" A quick review of the instant replay footage reveals an American flag, circa mid-21st century Earth, is on the scavenger ship's hull. Now a little human history lesson. Once upon a time, the scavenger ship was a modest little escape shuttle with humanity's best and brightest heading to a new beginning to the stars. But over the centuries, the mission was perverted to consume other technologies to survive and thrive. Nah, not at all like the Borg. The ultimate result? The original crew's descendants, all 7,000 of them, cannibalizing ships and planets as they pursued their predatory path through the cosmos.
Because why?
Upon this plot twist, only slightly reminiscent of V'ger, does it occur to someone, hey, maybe we should have tried to, I don't know, communicate with these scavengers. Oh, but that's not important right now. Crisis averted. It's now time for Kirk to wallow in some more self-doubt. He is questioning his own gung-ho recklessness and inability to listen to his own officers. Just then, Pike enters to offer his patented captain-in-training counseling. Welcome to the learning curve. It's all copacetic. Captain Kirk. Enough said. Lessons learned. Off to the next strange new world. Better even than the humor of the beats themselves is Eric's reaction to them. Upon which I'm sure he's going to elaborate for us right now.
Hey, we have heard the beat. Now, let's talk about it and hold nothing back. Let's get down and dirty. Eric, I'm gonna poke the bear here, which is not nearly as sexy as it sounds. I actually liked this episode.
Me
Good
too.
for you. Good for you.
And,
Couldn't be happier for you, John.
and Eric, we want to know how you felt about the Sehlat that ate its tail.
Okay, let's start. Okay, look. I want to start with something positive. It was nice to have what felt like an episode of Star Trek again,
Thank you. Yes.
even though it scared the bejesus out of me that we were going to see the Doomsday Machine,
Same here.
which I'm sure they did intentionally.
I was going to ask what you guys thought of that.
I think that was an intentional mislead because
it's a big
they've
one.
stolen from every other TOS.
Oh,
Yeah. So I was happy to see that it was not the Doomsday Machine, although that ship was ridiculous. It was absolutely fucking ridiculous.
I have no idea why they made it look like that. They made it look
Why would you make, if you're scavenging, why? Okay, look. Oh, you're going to hear the word why come out of my, but okay, look. All right. Whatever. What I cannot get past, and again, this isn't like a comment on the actors and stuff. I actually really enjoy the actors on this series.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I cannot forgive what they did to the character of Kirk in this episode. Now, look, I understand that, fuck canon. They've obviously said that at the beginning.
Right.
What they're doing has nothing to do, honest to God. I'm solely looking at this as its own beast.
Yeah.
So I'm trying not to take any prejudice in from how I feel that what that character is. But even on its own, any character that pulls the shit that character pulled in this episode would be sent back to Starfleet. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
I am so tired of seeing people that I would not trust to deliver my Uber Eats order. In charge of missions in space. I'm fucking done with it. Like the Kirk thing to me was so egregious.
Yeah.
So egregious.
Yeah.
That I just couldn't get past anything else.
Mr. Townsell, that exact thing, we're going to use the word process though it's definitely not the right word to use, the process by which Captain Kirk, assumes his captaincy, the process by which he works, did it irk you as much?
Oh, I don't know, guys. I'm kind of bored. I mean, I wish something exciting would happen on Starbase 80. But listen, I don't mind seeing the early days of someone like James T. Kirk and his learning curve, but
Yeah.
he is too far along in experience and range
Yes!
already
Yes!
to be this and that.
Yes! Now tell me how much you enjoyed this episode. Both of you. Tell me why it is you enjoyed this episode.
Well, let me finish that at this point first, Eric. By comparison, William T. Riker pretty much Captain Ready on day one as first officer of Enterprise D.
Right.
Because you have to be.
Well,
Right.
of course. I mean, that makes sense. Now, to answer Eric's question, why did I enjoy it? Despite the fact that there's that about Kirk, despite the fact that it's highly derivative of its own past episodes,
Yeah.
I'll repeat what Eric said as far as a positive. It feels the most like a Star Trek episode we've seen so far this season of
Mhm.
SNW.
Yeah.
It's well executed.
Yeah.
Despite Eric's favorite scene of the little trio getting on the turbo lift, making a little
Oh my God, it scared the shit out of me. I'm like, I swear to God, if this becomes another triangle, I'm going to lose my mind.
Oh.
As much as I have surrendered to the USS Grey's Anatomy, that would have been a bridge too far for me. I may have
Eric,
actually.
I have 4 words of warning for you, my friend. There's 4 episodes left.
No, I know. Listen, they wouldn't do the eye thing if it wasn't going to come into play down the road.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So I'm bracing myself for that. But for this
Yeah.
particular episode, with everything going, it was bad enough that Kirk had to go and change his pants and stare at. Like, listen, if you have an episode that finally makes Pike look like a captain, you've misread the character of Kirk.
And that's one of my positives that Pike did come through as a captain.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, he had, he was
Best-
dependent on his own crew that was on the
Best
ship with
captain
him.
episode for him yet.
Yeah, so I definitely applaud that, and I
That's
think that was very believable.
I was when we first saw Captain Pike take over the Discovery in Star Trek Discovery, one of his superpowers was, I need ideas. Everybody just tell me what's on your mind, or tell me what this reminds you of, or tell me anything. It's a crucial moment in the series when he shows that style of leadership, and he does consistently do that. He crowdsources on the bridge. Now, we've talked about this before on our show. That is not Star Trek. That is not command behavior, but it is how this Pike, not the real Pike, but this Pike does it. And I love Anson Mount. It doesn't have anything to do with him. It's the writing.
Yes.
But what really kicked me in the balls so hard they popped out of my ears was we're shown something at first that I go, oh, I like this. Where basically Kirk goes, all this yammering is not helping me. I need to make a decision, but you all telling me these things does not help. And so he goes into his little emo room. I assume he put Nirvana on, or maybe Lady Gaga. I'm not sure. And, to have some time to himself. He then has to be talked out of the room by Spock. And what is the solution? That he does what Pike does. He asks everybody, how are you doing? How are you feeling? What are you thinking right now? And that is so not James Kirk. And that is so not command as we understand command in Starfleet, that I absolutely agree. That was the thing that pulled me out of enjoying this episode, and I was enjoying it.
Well, I mean, and maybe if Kirk had been in his stage where he was maybe lieutenant junior grade and not the first officer, this would have rang more true as far as his inexperience and learning curve.
Right.
But again, to be the first officer of this Federation starship and not able to handle the first real crisis that comes his way.
To get to the point where it's like, I'm not sure I want to be captain. What? What? I have never sat in front of the TV series as much as I did and gone, I really wish Chris Pine were here.
Oh my God, Chris Pine. I rewatched Into Darkness.
Yeah.
Again, Chris Pine's really good.
He's really
As
good.
Kirk. Really good.
Yeah.
Like, he's got all the levels. And by the way, his own version of Kirk.
Yes. Oh, by all means.
But is very much in the heart of who that guy is.
Yes.
Like, he found a way to make it his own, but still stay true to who that character is.
And unfortunately, what we have here is one of the very first, if not the very first, one-on-one conversation between Kirk and Spock in a crisis situation.
Right.
And unfortunately, it's undone by the fact that Kirk is just, he's just not capable at that moment. And Spock can slowly drag him back to the bridge.
He's moping. He's a mopey.
He's a mopey little bitch.
And Paul Wesley was already like last in my list of Kirks after, the Captain Kirk from The Secret Lives of Walter Kitty. He rates higher than Paul Wesley, the kitty cat version. No one remembers that cartoon.
But we get your point.
I could draw a Kirk on a post-it and he'd be better.
Nothing against the actor.
Right.
Nothing against the actor, but oh my God. And let's not forget, at some point in this journey, that character takes the captain's seat on the Enterprise.
Yes. Yeah.
So what is the first encounter that they all have together, by the way? Not only does he look like the lamest member of the what is it? What is that movie? The Molly Ringwald.
The Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club. Is that the Breakfast Club?
Yes, it fits for me.
Not only does he look like the lamest member of the Breakfast Club, they're all talking about him like they're all ready to kick him off the bridge. And once again, we have Chapel step up. Well, I would be the one to determine it, and then I would have to haul his ass out of here. And then are you fucking kidding me?
So Nurse Chapel has become the pre-Leonard McCoy. In that, seriousness. But also they've added other weird things to her, which they didn't need to. That's bizarre. But this does bring me to the thing I liked, to answer your question from before, Eric, which was because there's just a skeleton crew on the Farragut now, and there are these bridge crew members who would eventually serve under Kirk with him. I liked that. I liked Kirk.
I did too.
With all of them.
I love that whole setup. I'm like, when I saw what was happening, I'm like, this is going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to see that they all work together. And it absolutely did not play out that way. And not only does he go off and mope, but when he comes back, they're like, okay, yep, we trust you.
Had a good mope, and I know you're going to be a great captain.
Whoa, now we know everything's going to be better. Longingly looking at the chair, that whole moment of, do I sit? Oh, I sit. This feels so good. Come on, man.
Am I secure enough on masculinity to cross my legs this way?
Oh,
Like, holy crap. Like, this is.
that was like a Tim Curry in Rocky Horror leg crossing to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It did not fill me with joy. Although I have to say, what did fill me with joy was the commercial break right before that ends with him like in profile, and I'm like, oh, he's got Shatner chest. Okay. All right. I like that. I like that about Wesley. He's doing
I
that.
really thought it was going to be this cool moment where they all just like they find who they are to each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, if you want that moment with Spock, like after the crisis is over, like send Spock down to Kirk's quarters, and Spock is like, just want to say good job.
Yeah.
However the Vulcans do it.
Yeah.
And that's when you find the connection that those two have. Right. And maybe then Kirk goes, it was my first instinct was to be boots on the ground, and that would have killed everybody, so what? That's still not the wrong decision. You couldn't anticipate something coming and blowing up the planet.
True.
Not only that, Eric, but why was it so much worse because they're a human versus any other species?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, okay. So that I thought was interesting. I did not reject that. I mean, that's 7,000.
That a vessel that starts off without warp, by the way, is suddenly able to find its way to the end of the galaxy, where its main job is scavenging other ships.
It's crazy. I do agree. And the whole scavenger ship. Is that the best name we got for it? Was there another?
That's the only name we got for it.
A scavenger ship. The whole like deep sea creature with the scary face and like the tentacles. Always has to be tentacles in sci-fi in the last 30 years. Have you noticed?
They look cool.
Don't forget those big old teeth at the entrance.
Oh, and the big teeth. I mean, no, okay. They
just do that to be assholes or something.
Why do you have to go there?
I can tell
why
you.
Do they have to be? Why do they have to be human? Why can't this be the first like original like alien species they've used in this series?
I thought for sure that's what we were in for. I thought we were going to meet another alien species, or it would be Orion pirates, or it would be somebody that we know. It would be somebody who means something to this universe.
Big, massive environmental suits they wear when they come on the Enterprise.
Yeah,
make no sense other than just surprise us that hey, they're human, not big old massive aliens.
Well, yeah, it was just it was again it was an AI YouTube headline.
Now I think we did learn something about the Kirk and Scotty dynamic. It's going to come in the near future.
Yes,
and this is that Kirk must be really a pain in the ass to work for when you're Scotty, because somehow he goes from being younger than Kirk to being older than him. So I really aged him a lot, it looks like, in the coming years.
Well, I love that they basically don't play the games with each other that they do in TOS, which is, you always double how long it's going to take. And that way you look like a miracle worker.
They did use that term, though.
They did. And it was like a setup for that. And I did like that. And I also love the captain. She's breaking up. She kind of hold that. That is such a big part of TOS. And of course he doesn't trust him, because in this episode, he blows the engine by doing that. So I liked that a lot.
But do you notice he talked to him differently than he's talked to anybody else in this series now?
Good point.
Suddenly he's all lippy with Kirk, but everybody else, he's like, maybe I can.
Well, he does roll his eyes when Pelia speaks up.
Well, don't we all?
Can I address that just briefly? I mean, I guess it was a clever thing to do. I mean, it didn't bother me so much, but I mean, you're going to tell me that I know this that the Enterprise in this version is large and luxurious, and every yeoman and ensign lower decker has like 1,000 square feet of living space.
Right.
But you want to tell me that Pele brings all of this junk with her?
Okay, in the classic Dungeons and Dragons,
Mm-hmm.
there is the bag of holding.
Okay.
It's also reflected in Doctor Who when you go inside the TARDIS, and it's bigger inside than it is on the outside. This whole dimensional thing. That is the only explanation that I can accept for why she has a bunch of phones from the 1980s.
If she's 5,000 years old, you have plug-in phones. Like, okay, look, in a box, by the way, in your
In a
room.
box.
In box.
So here's what. If you're going to do that, why isn't everybody on the Enterprise allowed a certain amount of storage space in the transporter
Oh,
that can just be held,
sure.
like the doctor's kid, that you put it there, and then everybody can have like all this stuff that they can choose what they want to sort of bring in when they need it and then send it back off.
Okay, I had to bring back this idea that I loved so much in the Lower Decks crossover from season 2, which I know you guys both hate, but
Yeah.
I love it. And there's a great line that Una has where she says, for people from the future, have you noticed their references are oddly specific? And oh my God, well, I survived the 80s. And of course, I'm sitting there going, yeah, I did too. Wait a minute, not everybody's me. Why are you doing this?
Right.
This doesn't make it a good show.
I did like Ortega's joke about the Grateful Dead, however. That was pretty funny.
That was awesome. And I look, I don't think anybody better than Erica Ortega's could have delivered the line, are these personal massagers? And I love like the shot really close up on her. So I finally got a really good look at her haircut. That's a haircut. That's a haircut
Yeah.
from the future.
Yeah, maybe I don't dig it, but that's me. But wouldn't it have been even handier though? I mean, it worked, but maybe Pelia next time could bring along a whole bunch of really old walkie-talkies.
Hey,
That way
they
they
had
go
those.
plugging into the walls.
They had those.
Like,
I want to
with
read
all
this
the
from Mr.
technology available. You had to go back to a plug-in phone from 1970. Like what? Like honestly, there's nothing else on that entire ship they couldn't fucking wire, like get communication through.
I mean, how long does it take to wire all that communication? That's
Don't you
great.
think if you have a ship like that in the future, don't you think you would have foreseen maybe that communications would be disrupted and already have a built-in hard line in the Enterprise that you could talk to each other
And
with?
did I miss something, guys? Or was what? I guess Erica was just literally trying to hotwire the console there.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Mr. B, you're on fire. Mr. Villfold says the Felix the Cat clock was corny. I loved seeing it because it's like a callback to remember there was a whole wall of them in oh my God, Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I gotta admit, I forgot two things on the beats. One of them was I should have added the Felix the Cat clock to the one slide with Pelia. And I was going to put in another slide where the big worm thing from Empire Strikes Back is going after the Enterprise. But,
Yeah. That giant puppet, that big puppet. I wouldn't even call it a Muppet. It's like a directly a puppet. Mr. B, this bothered me too. Kirk knows what duct tape is. Hundreds of years in the future, they still know what duct tape is.
maybe duct tape in the future is something else.
That I can forgive. I think duct tape is probably a joke that's been handed down for generations.
Yeah, because I mean, we still dial a phone and we still
That
tape stuff.
honestly doesn't bother me. I think it's just God.
I have to say, I loved that there were so many special effects. I loved that. I loved seeing the ships. I loved the save of the Enterprise using its shields to save the Farragut from being ray blasted. I do love how they blew it up. Yeah, those nacelles were in there. They shot the nacelles. Or did they shoot the Klingon ship? I wasn't sure.
They shot
No,
the
they
Klingons,
put
shoot
themselves down in there and they blew
themselves had
them up.
already blown up.
Yeah.
And there's a callback later where Kirk says, "I'm returning the ship without nacelles. I wonder how much trouble I'm in." And that was really funny because let's face it, if you return a Federation ship without its nacelles, that's got to be a problem.
Well, John Luke got on Geordie's ass about it the first time he separated the ships.
Is there anything else that you enjoyed, Joe? Let me ask you.
Oh, sure. I mean, like I said, if the show is entertaining and
Yeah.
I can let my enjoyment level rise above what bothers me about it, then that's a positive right then and there.
Yeah.
And this episode came closest to that so far this season. And yeah, like for all the reasons that John cites and Eric cites too, it's like, there was some good action here. It made, for the most part, most of it made sense.
Yeah.
I will say this, however, I still struggle with the CGI in outer space. I mean, it was so CGI. I thought at first the scavenger ship was a living creature because of the stupid
I wasn't sure.
mouth.
Yeah, I was confused myself. And when I saw that, okay, here's my explanation for that. It's just like from the classic, I would even say the Disney movie of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh, yeah.
They thought that the Captain Nemo was piloting the Nautilus.
I drew a blank too.
Everybody thought the Nautilus was a sea monster.
Yeah.
And it made it scarier and it made it, I guess they wouldn't fight it off as much if they think it's a monster and they're just like flipping out. So that's, Eric, I think that's what they were going for, was let's make it look like a monster and just freak everybody out.
Yep. Okay. Good
Maybe.
explanation, John. Okay. Good.
I mean, the only in-universe thing you can come up with is these guys have become such jerks that they're making the ship look scary, I guess.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah.
Because the teeth never bite in anything. They just...
No, I think that's part of it. Criminals are a cowardly and superstitious lot, as Bruce Wayne once said. And I think that's, I think they're playing off the superstitions. I don't know. It's a silly thing to argue for. It is what it is. And, but I liked it, it was very space adventure. Oh, speaking of space adventure hour, it's very space adventure. And I liked that too. So yeah, I mean, I'm not so angry at it. Mr. Billfold says, I have to say overall, I can suspend disbelief and say I enjoyed the show. I'm willing to forgive the creature-like appearance of the scavenger ship. I can see how an inbred crew of castaways, that is true. They're very inbred at this point, would use fear to intimidate everyone they came into contact with. The other thing it bothered for me was it bothered me in that in Voyager, remember they find that other Federation ship, and that ship pretty much like does this. It raids other ships and other
the Equinox.
The Equinox, thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And it's also done oh god, it's done earlier. Oh, the Pockleds.
Oh yeah.
So you guys became the unibrow, you became the Pockleds? But yes, I mean, Mr. B brings it up. That's a lot of interbreeding.
Well, I refer to them as tropes, and in my mind, that's not as bad employing tropes and it is just actively plagiarizing yourself. So, I mean, at this point in the almost 60-year franchise history, it's gonna be damn hard not to be reminiscent of something that's been done before within Star Trek.
I guess that's true. I mean, I do remember that great episode of South Park where like there's that one character who keeps going, Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it. Simpsons already did it. And none of the kids in South Park are phased. And they're like, yeah, of course, that show's been on like 30 years. Of course. Yeah. Duh. And I feel like maybe that's something they say in their writer's room. It's like, hey, what if we do this thing? And someone's like, Simpsons did it. And they're like, shut up. It's like,
Now I'm gonna ask Eric this. So Eric, you being a little bit less forgiving than John and I are as far as this episode's shortcomings, how do you rank this one of the 6 we've seen so far?
Oh my God.
that's a great question, Joe.
That's a really great question. I mean, it may be, I mean, I may actually rank, regardless of my gut feelings about it, I may actually rank this one pretty high, only because it's the closest thing we've had to, you know, a real episode of Star Trek. And I like that. You know, I like that Pike finally sort of felt like a captain. I can't forgive all the crying at the end of the fucking episode.
Oh my God. Yes, I forgot about that. That made me so mad.
Fuck. Everybody there in tears. Oh, they left. And yeah. And then came back and tried to kill us, motherfuckers. Like warped, you know, complete. Like, what are we doing? Can we just be professional once?
I
You know who was professional in this, even though she had very little to do? Again, my favorite character, number 1.
Yep. Una, played by the tall and statuesque Rebecca Romijn.
Eric, is it that she had very little to do, or is it the fact that she does it so well, it looks easy and effortless?
Hey, Tony.
I mean, I dig her as an actress. I dig what she's done with that character. I dig that in the face of all the weeping and all the USS Grey's Anatomy that's going on around her, she actually is there to try and, you know, be the first officer.
Yeah, and she does a nice job of it. I liked the regular crew a lot. You know what? I think we're at this point. Gonna make you pick your most valuable player from this episode. I want to hear everybody's opinion, so everybody in the chat as well. Let me go to you, Eric. Who's your MVP for this?
Oh man, I don't know if I have one. I'll be honest. I don't know. I don't know if I have an MVP in this episode.
There's nobody that you went, oh, that's great. I'm glad that happened with that person.
I'm trying, guys.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna
come back to me.
Yeah, I'll skip ahead to Joe. Joe, who's your MVP for this episode?
Well, I don't think I'll get a lot of disagreement from Eric. I might, but I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. Given the fact that he was most captain-like here, and he is serving as a good
that's where I was leaning.
I think it's Pike.
Yeah.
I loved Mr. Scott in this one. I think we've come to a point, and I have been very unhappy with this, you know, him being pulled around by the ear by Pelia, who again I think is terribly miscast, just absolute. She is, and I love Diana Muldaur, but she is our oh my God, Pulaski. She is our Dr. Pulaski.
Well, I would say that or Guinan.
Yeah. Right. You've got that whole Guinan thing where it's like, it's true. I was there and I saw the whole thing, and I'm going to tell the story too. Oh God, this is so.
I mean, I guess a 5,000-year-old humanoid creature of some kind might look and sound like a crusty old lady. I don't know.
But Mr. B and I are on the same page. Okay. I loved how he stood up to Kirk. I thought that his relationship to Kirk definitely was going to grow into what we know as their relationship. They're not tight buddies. They're not really good friends in the beginning of the original series. a little bit of arch nemesis, as a matter of fact. You know, you're pushing me. I don't want you to push me.
Yeah, but you know what? But like Scott and Kirk, again, I know they don't this whatever. It's its own thing. I mean, at the heart of it, they were friends. You know what I just thought of was I was reminded of a Gene Wilder story when he was writing Young Frankenstein. Yeah. And Mel would come over and sort of read what he wrote that day. And they got into an argument about the putting on the Ritz number,
right?
The singing number with this,
right? And
Mel was like, "You're out of your mind, dude." Blah blah blah. Gene would come back at him, blah blah blah. They would come back at each other, and then Mel finally went, "Okay, do it." And Gene was like, "What? Why? You were just all over me about pushing me to do this other thing." And he's like, "Yeah, I know, but I needed to see if you would fight for it. And if you fought for it, then I knew you were right." And that's more the relationship. Like, that's a Kirk thing.
Yeah.
I need you to do this. Well, I can't. Blah, 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 blah. We need to get, okay, you know what? I can try this.
Yeah.
And it's
that's
sort
very
of like
chill.
Kirk would get the best out of Scotty, and Scotty would sort of keep Kirk grounded.
Yes.
This is what we can. And that's, again, this just goes back to what drove me crazy about that Kirk character. Because what I thought the angle was going to be, which I thought would have been great, was that they all thought he was an asshole. Do you know what I mean? Because they're used to the other captain.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then they realize, oh, no, he's actually... Yeah.
I could definitely see that, and that's why this week Scotty is my MVP, because he did push, and so Kirk really had to know what he was doing and know what he was asking, and I liked that. No, we're gonna push it to the limit. If we can save these people, we're going to save these people, and I really liked that. So there's a little gem in the garbage pile for me.
Yeah. You know what else about Kirk? Kirk always admitted his mistakes.
Yes, absolutely. Which is a leader's prerogative. And
he would admit his mistakes, and he wouldn't let his mistakes overwhelm him.
Right. He becomes there was another thing that I loved, and I'll give this to this Kirk, which is the fact that he can't get over those 7,000 lives. I think that shows up later in his "I'm responsible for every life on this ship."
Yeah. I actually agree with that. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with him, because you do see that in every version of Kirk that we've seen.
Yes. Yeah, there
is that close up of him, and you can see it in his eyes. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. I liked that. I thought that was very Kirk-like. I thought that was great that was in there. Joe, anything else on as we're talking about MVPs?
I think I can just wrap it up by saying that had we gotten maybe another scene or two, and maybe under different circumstances, we did see again the beginnings of the Kirk-Spock relationship. I think Spock would have been in the same category as Scotty as far as being counsel to Kirk. Yeah. It's just that this was kind of a weenie Kirk he had to deal with. But we saw later on that was a much tighter bond, and that's good to see the beginnings of it.
But you know what I mean? It's what pisses me off about that is that everything has been flipped. Instead of Spock coming to Kirk, do you know what I mean? Kirk has now come to Spock, and it puts him in such a weak position if he is ultimately going to be in command of all these people.
Yeah.
I mean, honest to don't you think that once he takes command, the first issue they get in, he'll bark an order, and Chapel or somebody would be like, "Oh yeah, back when you were."
But Eric, you know what the missing piece is? I just realized this just this minute. The missing piece is that eventually Spock and McCoy would basically make up Kirk. And he's
Right.
missing the McCoy element right now.
So much. And
But Kirk was always the guy that he would go in and change the program so he could win the test. He was always smart enough and always thinking. And by the way, never fucking gave up.
right. Yeah.
Death is not an option.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And McCoy would get in his face all the time about mistakes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, you know what? Let's jump ahead. Every week, Joe Townsend leads us as we try to come up with little bits of trivia that we can take from this episode. We, of course, call those Townsend's tidbits. So let's talk about some tidbits. What do you got for us this week, Joe?
Got a couple of them, a couple of my own, a couple courtesy of TrekMovie.com.
Right on.
One thing I really enjoyed, and it actually was something that this episode did not contradict in later continuity, was that we did see Kirk in the episode, the original series, Obsession, where he reflects back on some less than admirable dealings and deeds as a member of the Farragut crew. So there was precedent for what we saw here on that level, at least.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to. We'll just remind folks that the Sehlat is a Vulcan predator beast, a teddy bear with fangs. You know, has nothing to do with this episode, but let's move on.
Right. Big saber tooth teddy bear kind of cave bear thing.
Yeah. John, you mentioned Scotty as being the most valuable player for you.
Yes.
A couple of neat little Scottish isms here going on. At one point, he refers to Scottish engineer and inventor John Logie Baird, who demonstrated the world's first television in 1926.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And this is my favorite of the Scotty stuff. He also talked about the scavenger ship, the reference to Nessie's God, which of course is another reference to the Loch Ness Monster, which unfortunately the scavenger ship fairly resembled. And finally, tonight on my tidbits, Admiral April, Robert April, who we know and love, he likes to imbibe with some Alderian whiskey, which of course is the same It's Green alcohol we saw in the Relics episode of TNG.
Oh,
that's great too. I really liked the discussion of Uhura being at the helm.
Oh yeah, I did enjoy that. That was great.
I loved the line "rousing speeches aren't exactly my forte" from Kirk.
Right.
At this point, I guess that's true. Let's see. I did. Okay, I'm taking this from a really terrific blog by Alex Perry. And I kind of loved this too. The Destroyer of Worlds ship is a very scary design, would be right at home in an episode of the original series. They also remind me a little bit of the Pock-led clump ships. Same here, man. Which is so funny. They would reference that.
It does look like that orange ship, I think, in the animated series. It looked like a big cat in space or something.
So I have to say, all in all, I actually enjoyed this episode. I think I might watch it again. It really wasn't that bad. And
I'm go watch it again right now.
I think I got stuff to do. I think the thing that I really liked about this episode was it was not steeped in self-reference of this actual show. And so I mean there's some history there, romantic history with some of these characters, a little nod to that, a little sideways look to that, but we're not
let's face it, John, a little planting of the seed for more.
Well, I'm really hoping they get along with those little doggies, because honestly, I don't want to see any more of that. But yeah, that is as Eric says, it's Grey's Anatomy with nacelles, and there's only so much you can do with that. I think we might be at the point where we can do a little news, Joe.
Wonderful.
All right.
This isn't something we'll do every. We have a little something for you tonight.
Hang on. Trying to find a good level.
Okay.
All right. I think you're okay.
Okay. Do we have our slide, John?
We can.
Okay. Listen, just a quick reference, everybody. We did get some interesting news out of the big Star Trek convention in Vegas recently. The most exciting to me is a potential new show starring Jonathan Archer, Star Trek United. Now, you'll see here what I've given you is Archer's personnel file taken directly from the episode, the two-parter In the Mirror Darkly from Enterprise. I have highlighted that he was president of the United Federation of Planets from 2184 to 2192, which jibes with the 20 years later approach of this new Archer-centric series. So the scuttlebutt is that he will be the president of the UFP. We're going to be seeing the beginnings and the formation of the Federation. You know what? If handled well, and maybe if not handled by Kurtzman, sorry, maybe it'll be interesting and worthwhile. So we'll see. The other bit of news I have for you is Star Trek Year One, which a little bit less tangible at this point, but it seems pretty likely that once Strange New Worlds concludes at the end of its abbreviated 5th season, don't know when that is, it will be followed by the, Paul Wesley and Ethan Peck led Star Trek Year One, which will chronicle James Kirk's first year as captain of the Enterprise.
I might be okay with that. I say, feeling the same pain that I felt passing my kidney stones, I might be okay with that. Eric, might you be okay with a Star Trek Year One?
Listen, guys, I know I sound like an a-hole most of the time, but I really do cheer for this show. Like, I really want this show to be good, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just, oh my God. You know, I got the first time, like you knew this was going to be like Kirk's first command this last episode.
Right.
I really kind of jazzed. And I went in all sorts of different directions, thinking about where it could go. And it went in the one direction that I never thought possible. But I do, like, Year One, absolutely, I cheer that show on. Please.
Yeah.
You know,
these both sound good to me.
Exciting, make it good. I do. I love these actors. I think this thing is insanely well cast. You know, just write the talent that you have.
I do find it interesting also that we do have a character named Mitchell who was prominent in this week's Strange New Worlds. I have to wonder if there must be a connection between her and Gary Mitchell, who I'm sure will be on Star Trek Year One.
That would be really cool. I would like that kind of tie-in. I like this sort of stuff. I even liked tying it in even the slightest bit to the episode Obsession, which is, reference that. That's very early, very telling James Kirk, by all means. Mr. B says, I want a Worf series, darn it, sauce.
So does Michael Dorn.
Sure he does. All right. I think that might do it, my friends. I think we're good for another week.
John, have we learned anything from this week's episode?
Oh my gosh, you're right. I forgot about our brand new segment.
What have we learned? What have we learned? What have we learned?
CPO Eric Kramer, what have we learned with this episode?
No character is safe.
Commander Joe Townsend, what have we learned with this episode?
It is still possible and highly desirable to have real Star Trek in new Star Trek. And I think this episode and last week's have come the closest so far to that. So I have learned to be continually cautiously optimistic.
I absolutely agree with both of you. And I will throw on the thing that I have learned from this one, which is I love seeing Uhura at the helm. I know she can't do it a whole lot, but I love it. I love it.
Sulu liked it too, remember?
It was like she's just great. Again, like I really do enjoy all these actors, and I loved, how often, well, twice. This being the second time, like
Including this one.
that's clever. That's just clever.
As
And you
much-
know what? She plays it, and she played it great. Do you
Yes.
know what I mean? Like
Yes.
total professional, but at the same time, like, don't let me screw this up.
I enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Friends, that is it for this week. We are going to take you out of here. And LLAP, our delightful friends, so glad you joined us. And let's get on out of here.
Kudos to the new intro and outro, John, by the way.
I'm sorry. I'm still looking for the right buttons. Here we go. Thanks, everybody. Join us next week, 7 p.m. Pacific, and whatever time it is where you are. Eric, do you like Trek In? That's always been. Wait a minute.
I don't know about you guys, but pushing the right buttons for me.
I love the green ladies. That's a nice bit. That's a nice touch.
Can I tell you? My wife hates it. So
Really?
hates it. She's like, why don't you have pictures of Gorns? I'm like, honey, I can't get AI to even make a picture of a Orion woman in a red bikini. What makes you think he's going to do a Gorn?
We love our Orion girls, despite what Eddie Murphy said about them once upon a time. Does anyone remember what that is?
No.
Actually, Chris referenced it earlier in the chat, and I deliberately did not put it up on the screen because I didn't think we needed a use of the word vajayjay.
Well, I will edit it in that way, but they may be sexy according to Eddie Murphy, but if the is green, there's something wrong with the
All right, friends. I hope you join us for more Weber internet thingies. Did I load up the did I not load that up? All right, let's just get out of here then. Enjoy a commercial for JoeTownsend.com.
JoeTownsend.com